Hi, hello. I'm Sai Chaitanya Choda. Presented. I am studying first year engineering LLB course at DSNLU Vizag. Today we are seeing the history of Madras, how it started, what is its early administrative system and judicial system it have, the modern Madras, which is under how it went into the hands of East India Company. What made East India Company to reach Madras, even though they have already trade centers at Mausoleepatnam, Surat, and Amagon, all what made East India Company to made Madras as the first important trade unit in India, and what made it to become Madras the first presidency and corporation in India. So let's talk about that. Yeah, as we all of know, as all of we know, that the English East India Company was founded in 1600 by Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I given or granted royal charter to East India Company and also given monopoly to the East India Company to trade with not only India but also entire Asia, which means that no other English or England or Wales companies, private companies have no right to trade with India without permission, without favor of East India Company. The major aim of East India Company to came to India is for species, textile, indigo, and luxury goods. And the most important is species because they don't have preservatives in Europe, and the species is used as preservatives to store their food or meat because at the time there is no refrigerators, fridges, so they don't have to wait. They don't have that much time to wait till the winter to store the food. In the winter, there is snow in the Europe, so they can manage without species by storing the food inside the snow, natural snow. But in the remaining of time, like in summer or monsoon season, they want species, but the blockage of Suez Canal in that Saudi Arabia by Ottoman Empire in Turkey made it difficult to import trades from India, import species from India, so that they have to again they came to east coast of India. So we know that really the first factory in the reached Mausoleepatnam, which is today is called as some people tell Mausoleepatnam is nothing but Machilipatnam in Krishna district, Andhra Pradesh in 1611, and then in 1605 at first they went to the Mughal Emperor Akbar and said that we came here for trade, and Akbar did not show that much interest in East India Company and did not have that much favor to East India Company in granting permission. But later Thomas Roe came in 1609, and then in the 1609 he found out by the time Akbar was passed away and Jahangir became the emperor of Mughal Empire, and find that some people say that Thomas Roe find that Jahangir is alcoholic, and by offering alcohol from Europe, he gained the permission from Mughal Empire to establish a factory in Surat. But The reason is in 16. By the time Portuguese is already making already well established in Surat, and Surat is under control of Portuguese. Not only Surat, the entire west coast of India is under control of Portuguese due to the blue water policy by Francis de Almeida in 14 in 1500s, in early 1500s, which given or enabled Portuguese monopoly in the entire west coast of India to no one can, no other European country don't have, didn't have any right to settle in the west coast of India because of blue water policy, which without permission of Portuguese. So it eventually led a battle to East India between East India Company and Portuguese. When Portuguese came to know that East India Company going to establish a Surat, a trade factory at Surat, and by the time the Mughal Empire of India is in favor of Portuguese. Finally, in the Battle of Swally in 1610 or 11, so Portuguese were get defeated in the hands of English East India Company. So immediately Jahangir or Mughal Empire turned in favor of English East India Company and granted the permission. So immediately East India Company established the trade factory in Surat in 1612 and Amagon in 1626. Still, they have Portuguese domination in West Coast, which made the process of exports and imports delay, and the trade also delayed. And on the other hand, the Dutch East India Company, which is today's Netherlands, also started trades at Surat, so that in one side Portuguese is dominating the coast, and on the other side Dutch is giving tough competition to them. So East India Company eventually get to get a thought that we have to be secure and we have to find a new secure trading place where there is no other political and the local political conditions are also unstable, and so the harbor facilities are also very poor in Surat. So they immediately traveled want to put a new trading center somewhere in India, either in West Coast or East Coast, that is Coromandel Coast. So immediately they went to there are two officers called Francis Day, company agent at Amazon, and Andrew Cogan, chief of Coromandel factories, which means by the time Moslepatnam is the only Coromandel factory. So Andrew Cogan is the chief of Coromandel factory, and Francis Day is a company agent at Amazon. So Francis Day, the Surat Governor and Council given orders to Francis Day and Andrew Cogan to find a new. Hmm. Uh, the task is to find a safe. Sorry for the disturbance. The task is to find a safe port for trade and secure stable political protection, not like in the situation like in Surat, and then develop the textile export and by exploring Coromandel Coast. So, in search of new location, they were busy. On the other hand, if we observe the political situation at Madras, it was under the part of Damalla Venkatadrinayaka and Damalla Ayyappa Nayaka, who are sons of Damalla Channappa Nayaka and successors of Vijayanagara Empire, who are ruling from Chandragiri as a local governors to Mughal Empire or Hyderabad Nawa Nizams. So they immediately thought that Damalla Channappa so some historians believes, most of the historians believe that Dhamala Channappa Nayaka was the founder of Channapatnam or Chennai, or the Chennai or Channapatnam name came after he passed away. So as a part of the exploration, Francis Day on in July 1639 reached Amagon from Amagon to Madras coast and inspected Madras Patnam and Channapatnam and find out that it's have strong cotton textile production like handlooms, and it is filled with weaving communities and weaving communities, and have naturally formed port, and there is not no European competition but very less, very European competition. No major European powers were already established there, so he thought that this was a good place to establish the secure factory or backup factory for Surat and Amagon in West Coast. So basically, Madras Patnam and Chennai Patnam is fishing villages where the main profession is fishing in the sea. So immediately Fancy Day thought that this is suitable place. Immediately he went to the local rulers, the Nayakas, the Dhamala Venkatadri Nayaka and Dhamala Ayyappa Nayaka, and proposed that came from England, from Europe, and we are. I am representative to English East India Company, and we want to establish trade factories at Madras Patnam and Channapatnam to increase regional trade with your locals to England, to our country, and we are able to pay rent and custom duties. So the Nayakas asked what was the benefits if we give you the land. And President said that it will increase your revenue as we give, and it will also help you if you give by granting us land. We will give you political alliance against Portuguese or any other France, any other European powers if there is a to prevent you from the influences, and helps you to grow the economic region of your kingdom of food. So immediately impressive, the Naga rulers granted land to this East India Company on 22nd August 1639. Terms of agreement. The treaty that given between Francis Day and Zamalla Venkatadrinayaka is about the provisions is permission granted to build a fruit factory and port, and freedom to conduct trade, authority to administer justice within the settlement, right to mint coins, that means print the currency and etc. Payment of annual rents and customs, no need of payment of monthly or whenever the trade was happen, you have to pay annual from the annual profits like income tax. So after dealing agreement with Damala Venkata Adrinayaka, Francis Day returned to Amagon. By the time already Andrew Kogan, who is the chief of Coromandel factories, uh, who is established, who have established and maintaining the administration of Machilipatnam factory, was arrived in February 1640 to Madras or Chennapatnam. He brought his company officials, soldiers, construction workers, Indian traders, and craftsmen. Construction. So by March 1640, construction has begun. The construction has been begun on 23 April 1640. Foundation stone for Fort Saint George was laid. The fort became the first major English stronghold in South India. Future, the features of the fort: defensive walls. They contain defensive walls, warehouses like stock storages, storage godowns, administrative office of East India Company employees, governor's residence, and church. Not initially it's agent's residence, and later it becomes governor's residence and a church for their prayers. And there is a two settlement, two develop. After settling there, they divided the entire place into two regions. One is White Town and one is Black Town. In the White Town, which is inside part of St. George, Europe, where Europe's were lived, and the administration, on the whole, the administration was running there. And the Black Town is outside the fort, where the Indian merchants, weavers, artisans, other country people, whoever, many people, all are there, the market, etc., etc. This is the map of Chennai at the time of 1639, and if you observe, here is the White Town, this one. This is the White Town, and this is the Black Town. We can see that the White Town is compared, and if you observe that all this place was given to East India Company, yeah, and even given hand out the administration of all this area to the East India Company only. And then when we are moving to the next slide, on growth of the trade in Madras. So, which eventually led the export commodities like cotton, textiles, calico, indigo, etc., etc. And the merchant communities in Madras are mostly Tamil traders, Telugu merchants, Gujarati traders, Armenian merchants. Armenia, which is a Middle East Asian country, Midwest Asian country, sorry, Central Asian country, and it is nowadays it will be always in use for in by making wars with Azerbaijan. and Madras become a major trading hub for East India Company within short time. So later that's so in the next video we can see about administrative systems of Madras, how the administration is going on. Bye bye.